Hey, we are in Romans 12 tonight for our Bible study, and I'm looking forward to that so much because tonight's discussion will help us answer a good question that came up last week. One of our members in the Bible study asked something along the lines of how do we as Christians or people of faith and people trying to promote love in the world, how do we respond when there's so much evil? And especially if we're in the military or in a police force or in a position of power like a judge in a courtroom or someone who's making policy, how do we design a world and live in a world where force is sometimes needed to put down evil or to enforce justice? And tonight's discussion in Romans 12 will allow us to look on the personal level first at how to answer that question. And then next week in Romans 13, we'll look at how to answer that more in view of society and institutions. How do we live lives of love as individuals and promote love while still maintaining the need to have discipline or justice exercised? So in Romans 12, the Apostle Paul is writing to these Christians in the capital city of Rome in the empire, and he's saying, hey, in view of all of God's mercy that you've seen in the previous chapters 1 through 11, God's salvation coming to all peoples, Jews and Gentiles, without distinction, grace saves us, receive that by faith alone. Now, in view of that, how do you live your life? Well, first, Paul says, renew your mind. Don't be patterned after the world's cycles of violence and retaliation and tit for tat. Pattern your mind after the merciful mind of God. Okay, then he says, offer your bodies as living sacrifices. The way you live your life will be a sacrifice pleasing to God and beneficial to other people. First, those in the church, the community of people that we're members with in the same body, the body of Christ. But then he says, in society, as you go out into the world, you will make enemies, you'll have enemies, and you need to learn to live mercifully towards them, hating what is evil, both inside of you and outside of you, learning to genuinely love people. And the punchline of this chapter is learning to not be overcome by evil and reflect evil and mimic evil and just become evil, but learning to overcome evil with good. What a great, powerful lesson of how God's mercy will compel and renew and change our ethics and shape us into the people that He requires us to be. I'm really looking forward to this discussion tonight with you. And until then, grace and peace.